Hi, welcome to another training movie for Canto Roboflow. In this little movie, I'm going to focus on how to work with parameters and making your workflows more manageable and making your workflows um, easy to send to somebody else in another environment where it can be easily adapted without going through the whole workflow. If you look inside a workflow, um, it's not always very easy to detect where there is, for instance, a folder that you are using. Say this is a workflow that will find records based on a query. And based on this query, for instance, status is new, you want to process the records from this catalog and copy them to an external location. If you want to send this workflow to somebody else, maybe you are preparing this workflow and want to be able to interchange, export and import it to another Roboflow instance. In that other Roboflow environment, some of the parameters might have to change. If you have to look for those parameters inside your script, that might be more difficult than just looking here at the parameters. One way of doing it is adding some comment and explaining what the workflow does, and maybe pointing out what parameters might change. Comment is always a good idea if you come back later to a workflow to understand what the purpose of this workflow is. But in reality, you can also create at the top level in the parameters additional parameters like these ones. For instance, for this workflow, if you have a target folder, then you could decide here to say, okay, new, and I give it a name, and I can say temporary target folder. I'm not a big fan for spaces in my variable names, parameter names, so I using dashes, but it is not mandatory. And then here, and then here you can set the parameter. The annoying thing or the is that you cannot select the folder in that case, but at least you I'm not going to put anything yet. At least you have the ability to set it here. And comment, I can say this is the temporary folder to hold the file before uploading it. So if now I go into my script, and while I'm making it, I know that I'm using this folder here. Well, in this folder, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to use a previous stored parameter. Watch me do this. If you are working in the latest version 9.2 of Roboflow, then you can type hash and hash slowly, and then you will have a drop down that gives you all the parameters that are available in this script and in the parameters and in the global script. Only the ones that are officially available, not the ones you added. But that doesn't matter. You can pick up tag here, and then you can say target or temporary target folder. Temporary target folder. Okay, and now I'm going here, and I can say here, that's what I'm going to put here. Now when I have to export this workflow to somebody else, it will be very easy to find the parameters to change without having to go into the script and finding those parameters. You can even take it, well, to another level and say, okay, maybe I'm using some generic start folder from where I'm going to put all the other subfolders. So maybe I'm setting up 4 or 5 workflows for one customer or for one purpose in a dev environment, and I want to be able in all these scripts to use one parameter. Could be same thing for a catalog name that is used in several workflows, but that you don't want to be going into all these workflows and having to set it. For your dev environment or your development environment could be different than from the live environment. So you can go to the global settings, and in the global settings you just go to the last item and you can say new, and here I can say my global catalog. My global catalog, okay, and here I can say my global catalog is the sample catalog. And now your this is the catalog used in 3 workflows. So if once I've set this up here, my sample catalog, I can say okay. And if you want to copy it, if you want to copy paste it, you can always do this. If you don't want to make a typo, you can just say Control C. And now we are going into those workflows, and let's say we are using here the sample catalog. So instead of going in and selecting the catalog, I'm just going to type the hashtag again. So tag, Control V, close tag. So that's how you could do that. So here I'm using those parameters, this global catalog. I can do that for any parameter that I have. I just put it like this, and it will be used further down the line. And so this script can use it, another script can use it. That's what the global parameters are for. If we have a look at a cataloging workflow, here's an example of a workflow that catalogs. Well, by default the catalog name is not in here, so you could add again that sample catalog, or here inside the script pick it up. You don't have to, if it's not defined here, you could go right in here and look where the catalog is used, and here you can say open the catalog, and then here you are using the sample catalog. Now you might be wondering why there's a global prefix here. Well, if you are working, if an action script is executed, everything you do in here in terms of storing, opening a catalog, it's always storing the object that you create as a local variable to this individual script. In some cases it is useful to be able to store something globally for the complete workflow, so that you can reuse it. A catalog is a nice example for it. A workflow that processes, for instance, 1,000 files that are dropped. If you don't use this global tag and you just open and close the catalog in every step, for every record, then it will open and close the catalog 1,000 times, which is an overhead that you don't need. So what we have is here an element, a test action, a conditional action that says what is the workflow progress, and then you can set the workflow progress to first item of the loop, and in the first item of the loop you say open catalog, open the catalog. But now if you would only put here sample catalog, then in that case the sample catalog would only be available for this individual instance, and so it would only be available here. in this individual script, but by prefixing it with hash global hash, the workflow knows, okay, this is something, an object that is created for a higher level, so I will keep it throughout the whole workflow. And then when the workflow is done, when this processing is done, I'm testing with the same action but with a different parameter. If this is the last item, if I just finished the last item of this run of the workflow, then I'm allowed to close the catalog, and now the catalog is closed. So, and here it should actually be this variable to use global. If you are using that global parameter for the catalog name, it's not here that you use it, of course, it's the catalog name we're looking for, so it would be here where you would add again this parameter like that. So that's how it would look like if you were using that global parameter. So I think this is it, and so we've learned that it's interesting to put some global parameters here, and you can see I did this here as well. I'm using my asset handling set, my permission template, so this somewhere goes cataloging a file. So here the file is being cataloged, so instead of using the global ones, and instead of hard coding here my asset handling set, which might be forgotten after a while that there is an asset handling set in there, I created the parameters here. If you want to use the generic ones, the global ones that exist in the global settings, because this is a standard parameter, it will find it. So if you go here and you type hash only from Cumulus 9.2, you will see that here we have the Cumulus permission template and the Cumulus asset handling set, which are global parameters that you can use as well. So if I say I want to use this one, it just adds this one, and then you could remove that part. You could say, and then you use a global one. You only have to set it once, and you never have to worry about the fact that somewhere in your actions you're using elements that are a little bit hidden from the first glance at the workflow, and that might get forgotten in the process. It's always a good idea also in the notes here, in the comments, to mention which elements are used in terms of a folder or an asset handling set or a permission template, so that if you come back to this workflow, you always know what to watch out for. So thank you for joining me in this training movie, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.